Hi everyone, I'm going to be commentating over a few more matches that I've had in the 20-win run. I'm going to go over some common games that you will probably have, so some common matchups, and hopefully give you a rundown on how to beat them. So the first one here is going to be P.E.K.K.A. So people often think P.E.K.K.A counters E-Giant, but not anymore, because the bowler is really good against bridge spam, and they also can't deal with the hut. So starting off here, our opponent's going to cycle Royal Ghost, so we're just going to bar battle on that. And I'm probably going to cycle Baby Dragon here, just so we get to our evolution faster. And here he drops Golden Knight, so immediately I knew it's probably some sort of bridge spam deck. So in these matchups, you want to save your bowler for the Battle Ram or Ram Rider. That's why we go Hut here, and then we also get a nice NATO here to finish off the minions. And now we just wait, because I know he's up a bit of Elixir, and I'm just going to respond to what he does. So he goes Mother Witch. And we're going to respond with Bowler, because even if he goes opposite lane, we can just Valk on that. And he does get a little bit of damage, but the idea here is now we have a counter push in both lanes. And his defense will be spread a bit thin. So here he drops P.E.K.K.A, so now I know what kind of bridge spam deck it is. And we're just going to Baby Dragon to chip it down. And we also know he has no minions or Mother Witch in hand, but now he does. And then we're just going to Barbell here for the Ghost, but also we're going to let it lock onto the King Tower with our NATO. And that was beautiful. The P.E.K.K.A also doesn't get a hit. So it was an awkward Barbell there, but I had to do it so I can activate King. And here, he went really aggressive. 5 Elixir right there, Golden Knight with ability. And that's why we go E-Giant, because I know he doesn't have enough for P.E.K.K.A if he did have it in hand. And we get a lot of damage right here. So that was a mistake on his end, and we were able to capitalize on that. So now we have a damage lead, and we can just chill and defend and lightning cycle if needed. Or we can also go with another E-Giant push later. So again, Battle Ram in the back, so we're going to cycle Bowler towards that lane. And then we're probably just going to Barbell on the Ghost here. Yep. So he goes Minions in the back, probably to clear the Bowler. We're just going to Baby Dragon up high to kill the Minions. And then we're going to E-Giant into the Baby Dragon's radius, so it gets sped up. Well, it did for a bit, but now it doesn't. And we get some incidental damage here. Unfortunately, the Mother Witch is going to spawn some piggies, but it's not too big of a deal because we do have a Bowler. And good awareness on our opponent there, using Evil Battle Ram because our Bowler's on the other lane. But the only reason I went Bowler is because I knew I had Evil Valk in hand. And then we also get a beautiful NATO there to move the P.E.K.K.A off our Bowler and get distracted by those Spear Goblins. So now we can go in with the E-Giant because we're up so much Elixir, and we also have a Bowler going down. And even if we don't get any damage here, we just make sure to keep up the pressure. Unfortunately, the lightning misses the Mother Witch there, which was a slight mistake. And this also causes the Battle Ram to connect because the Bowler was kind of misaligned. But it's all good because we have such a huge damage lead that even if we take some damage, it's not too big of a deal. So here he has an awkward hand. He has the P.E.K.K.A. And we get a nice NATO. And these NATOs are really important when using E-Giant to get the damage you need. And this was a really good Bowler. Lined up on everything beautifully. And I think we Valk just to be safe, yeah. We technically didn't even need it. We could have placed it even higher so the P.E.K.K.A doesn't hit. And she would have had more health, but it's all good. So now we just Baby Dragon to tank for the Mother Witch, so she doesn't spawn too many piggies. And then we just E-Giant the bridge, because again, just to keep up the pressure, and we have a lot of support going on. And then I get a lightning off here, and that's game. Oh, and a NATO. Yeah, so all in all, just playing patient, defending really well, and then having a counter push to go off of to win the bridge spam matches. And another game I'm going to go over is this Golem one. This is a really popular deck, and it can be tricky if you don't know how to play it because they have Zappies and Mini P.E.K.K.A. But with the right playstyle, E-Giant actually has matchup in my opinion. It's just about how you make them use their cards, so applying the correct amount of pressure, as well as bowler lineups. Bowler lineups are very important with the offensive tornadoes. So here we cycle Baby Dragon to get to the evolution, as usual. So here, he makes the mistake of revealing his Mini P.E.K.K.A. So now I know he has Golem. And it's also kind of interesting because you want to save your tank killers for the tanks. So I guess he had an awkward hand, but he still should have cycled something else. You know, Ghost. I guess he wanted to tank for the Baby Dragon, though. So I guess it kind of makes sense, but yeah, now I know what he's playing, so I can adjust my playstyle according to that, so I'll be a lot more passive. He was a bit late with the Baby Dragon, so we get a barb hit there. And then, unfortunately, our hand isn't too great, so I have to eat some Baby Dragon damage, and that's okay. Because I don't want to overextend by NATOing it away, or tanking, with the bowler for too long, because I want to ideally do something here. So again, he goes Mini P.E.K.K.A. We just NATO this, kill those Zappies, and then we also Valk, because he used a lot of Elixir at the bridge there, and I know this is like a little mini push that he has. He's going to struggle defending because he doesn't have Mini P.E.K.K.A. in hand. And as a result, we do force out a lot of Elixir, and we get some a bowler lineup there, and then the Baby Dragon also splashes onto Zappy, so we don't have to respond to those. And look at how much of an Elixir lead we have. We have a 6 Elixir advantage, all because he messed up some defense, and I knew that, so that's why I go E-Giant at the bridge, and I go Baby Dragon and the only reason I did that is because I know I have Baby Dragon, which will speed up the E-Giant, and here, I knew he has no Elixir, so I NATO'd it to the tower, and I knew he couldn't do anything about it, so we get some really nice damage here, and also hit the Baby Dragon to the point where it's gonna die to our Princess Tower. Although, yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if I HUD or not. So here he goes Golem in the back. So this is the kind of scenario where most people don't know what to do. So just play HUD, and then I E-Giant immediately to prevent a lightning block, which he didn't go for. And the E-Giant's gonna help in 2 ways. So since he has Skelly Drags, they're just gonna die to it. And then he Evo Ghosts other lane, which is kind of bad because I just have an Evo Valk. And I'm able to deal with all of his support units really well. I also had an offensive NATO at one point. I think that was a little bit of a mistake, but it didn't end up mattering because we were able to defend his push really well. And also, he's now out of cycle for, like, he doesn't have Evo Baby Drag or Evo Ghost anymore, which is really good for me. So again, he goes Golem. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to E-Giant. And notice how I put him a little bit back because I know the bowler is going to take some time to kill the Zappies. Just minor things that, you know, even though it might seem like they're not that big of a deal, it's still good to optimize your plays like that. So we go with a really nice lightning, and the bowler actually lined up on the Mini P.E.K.K.A., causing our E-Giant to get a lot of damage on the tower and also clear those Skelly Drags. So we're going to finish it off with a Baby Dragon. And again, we have a nice counter push here. But we're going to let it go because he's going to have to respond to that, and we're just going to bowler and then set up again one more time. So E-Giant again, and yeah, this is why E-Giant has matchup, because they just throw stuff into your bowler and it's going to get a lot of value. So here, I get a nice lightning. I just wanted to clear the Skelly Drags, and then we're going to have a Baby Dragon speed up here as well. I want to kill the Zappies first, because I know it's going to speed up eventually anyway when it comes to the left right there. And then we E-Giant at the bridge, and his Evo Ghost, it just gets obliterated. And then we get a nice lightning here for Mini P.E.K.K.A. and a Zappy, yeah. And that should be lightning range, yep. And we get enough damage for just one more lightning to finish it off. And yeah, so overall, against this deck specifically, just forcing them to, you know, push into you and your bowlers, and really setting the tone of the match. Like, the whole game, I was just controlling. He wasn't able to do anything. Our towers were healthy, and yeah, there's not many plays they can really do to get out of that situation. Lastly, we're going to go over this Golem matchup. it's not as common, but it might be helpful to know how to deal with princes, especially because we don't really have a good way of countering him. And so you might face like giant prince maybe. And it's also good to perhaps see how to deal with the evil E-Drag, because sometimes it can get a little sketchy to use lightning, especially if you don't have the elixir for it. So again, we're just gonna probably cycle Barbell in a bit. Yeah. And then he goes Ghost. Again, don't know. It could be any kind of deck. Evil Ghost is broken. We're just gonna Valk for him. And then once I saw the Zappies, I was thinking, okay, so it's either Golem or Giant Skelly Piggies, which I have shared a replay of in my other video. Also an easy matchup, by the way. The entire point of this E-Giant deck is to counter the meta. So he leaks, which is the right play, because anything he does, he just feeds the hut. And there's not much he could do, basically. And then he E-Drag. So here, I Lightning, because the idea was to catch him off guard and let the Baby Dragon lock on the tower, and because my cycle wasn't that good. But he did react with the Golden Knight pretty quickly. And I think we Barbell here, just so he doesn't get his ability off. And we would have had to use Barbell anyway, because we were nearing 10 Elixir. And this was unfortunate timing. He goes Golem when I went Valk. And I wasn't expecting him to go Golem because we were even on Elixir. But that's fine. Now he has to deal with the Valk, and we just hut anyway. I also know that he probably doesn't have a big spell, because he has so much, like, because he has E-Drag, and usually E-Drag decks don't have a big spell, they have NATO. So I wasn't too worried about that, and here, you'll see a really nice play. So we get the Bowler on the 2 Zappies. You might wonder why I didn't put on the Ghost, but it's because now I can potentially NATO. And it didn't end up mattering, because the Ghost died, but the Golemites were still able to get us the King Tower activation. And there was a nice little thing touch there. The Bowler got a line up on the tower due to the Prince. And then here we're just gonna hut for the Prince. And this is usually how you want to deal with Princes, because there's no, I mean, anything else, like, we give him too much value. There we blocked the Golden Knight ability really well with our Bowler. And this was really good because his Evil E-Drag's out of cycle now. So it'll make our defense really easy. And we're gonna Evil Baby Dragon here, and then E-Giant. So this is to apply pressure, and I also know he has no good counters available. Like his Zappies, he played them too high, and now his Evil Ghost is also out of hand. And then I know all we need for defense is a hut, so we can pressure. In decks where you know they don't have a big spell, you can pressure really hard, because you know a hut will just clean everything up. And yeah, that's just an insane amount of Spear Goblins right there. And then we Bowler to make sure the Golden Knight doesn't do anything interesting. And then we're gonna E-Giant in front because we have a huge counter push. He messes up here. He puts the E-Drag way too high, allowing the Baby Dragon to tank for it. And then we get a really nice Lightning and then a Bowler lineup to finish it off. So that was a really easy match as well. But yeah, so those are a few more matches. Lastly, I'll also go over this E-Giant Mirror matchup due to a lot of requests. Unfortunately, I did lose, but hopefully I can show how to play the matchup and the mistakes I've made. So normally in this matchup, it's really hard if you get starting handed, which was not the case in this one. It was some mistakes that I made. Usually you want to play your support units well, so cycling Bowlers and Baby Dragons appropriately, you know, making sure to not get too much lightning value, saving your hut for the E-Giant, and also going E-Giant at the appropriate times as well. So we will see all of that in this replay. I also think, you know, sometimes it's important to also just take your losses and move on in the 21 challenge, which is what happened twice in this run for me. Because the first time I faced a hard counter of RG with Log, so RG with Barbell is fine, but with Log it's hard because they can kill the hut. And Bro also had Zappies, which I had no answer to in the RG deck. This one was just my fault, and you know, it was at 14 or 15th wins, and yeah, I'll show you something. So here we cycle baby dragon. So I got tired of waiting, so I just cycled the baby dragon, and then I cycled bowler to tank for the baby dragon. And once I saw his bowler, I knew it was a mirror matchup. And so here, unfortunately, he had Valk and I didn't. What I probably should have done is barbell on the right side to distract the bowler for a bit. But either way, he still would have Valked, and see, his bowler kills mine. And this is the first mistake. So I put a hut down, knowing he had E-Giant, but my hand is so bad that I was forced to. Although it didn't end up costing me too much, it ended up so that I was at an elixir disadvantage for most of the game. So as you can see, he, knowing that my hut's now out of rotation, he went E-Giant in the back, which is the right play. So I was forced to bowler up high to kill the E-Giant without a hut, and that cost a lot of elixir for me. As you can see, a bowler and a NATO, and then my whole support dies. So now I'm forced to defend this, and this is he should have E-Giant in the back, because now I'm back to my hut. So that's one mistake that he made. So in that position, I would have E-Giant in the back, because now I just defend pretty easily, and I just get a NATO off here. So all in all, not too bad. All he got was lightning damage, but I'm also down a few elixir, so I'm down 2 elixir, and it's still going alright so far. I think I barbell back, yeah, so just to minimize damage. And he goes baby dragon other lane, so that's a little questionable. He probably should have went with the bowler, but I guess he didn't want to give lightning value. And then I kind of misplaced my Valk here. It takes a couple seconds for it to get off, but it doesn't matter too much. And he gets a really nice native here, killing all my support. And this is mistake number 2. I put the bowler way too high. I know I want to tank for the baby dragon, but I also want to kill the hut, but I didn't need to. I should have just put in the back. And this is mistake number 3. I should not have gone so aggressive, because he has evil Valk in hand. And so I shouldn't have, because that's easy defense for him. And then mistake number 4 is the NATO there, which is overcommitment. And I used way too much elixir for basically no damage, and now I'm forced to lightning, and I actually missed the baby dragon, which is very problematic, because my baby dragon dies, and that one survives at 1 HP, which just kills my hut. And mistake number 5 is the NATO here. I missed the NATO pull. I don't know if it's possible, but I still missed it. It would have been better to just move it to the other lane or something. And now he has a bunch of support that I just can't. I just spend so much elixir defending. I'm already low on elixir, and he has a lot of health on his support, and also had to waste my evil baby dragon here, and he got a lot of damage. And also forced the E-Giant to prevent the bar barrel hitting. So those were the key mistakes. At this point, I knew it was over. I was just trying to see what I could do, but I know it's not possible. And even as E-Giant makes it to the tower, avoided the hut because my E-Giant pushed it. And yeah, overall, just unfortunate sequence of events, but hopefully you guys can see what mistakes led to that and what not to do in your run. So yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hope the tips were helpful. So thanks for watching, and good luck on your 20 wins.